Morning, even afternoon, we got a banger for y'all today, baby. We got a video from Jev here, as always. Jev's YouTube's in the description. If you don't somehow subscribe to him, please go sub to him. He's the man. There's been a lot of talk about Faze Clan and the moves they were making, and on top of that, Jev actually made a video, quote, about Faze Clan. I wanted to see what Jev had to say, and on top of that, just kind of sprinkle in a little bit of my opinion about the whole thing going on. Curious to see what y'all think of this as well. If you do enjoy this, hit that like, hit the sub. Most importantly, be sure to tell somebody you love them. I'll catch you in the next one.
What's going on, guys? It's Jev.
Hello,
so
Jev.
My plan today was originally going to be me just uploading my part 6 or 7 of my Sekiro playthrough, but a big announcement ended up coming out from Faze. And
oh, Jev's camera's here. Okay, before like Jev says what he says, here's what I think Jev's gonna say about this. If I had to guess, knowing Jev, the short of it is gonna be kind of like he just tries to do his own thing and he just wants to play video games, which I love about Jev, man. He's, in my opinion, one of the best, not only just like Call of Duty YouTubers, because I would say gaming YouTubers in general, like to this day right now. That's my guess.
Talk about Faze a ton. I don't really make any comments about anything that's really going on in the background with the team or organization or whatever it is at this point. Mostly because I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going on. And it seemed like a lot of the people themselves that are even in the highest positions also had no idea what was going on half the time. Now I'm talking over like a multiple year span at this point, like pre-pandemic, still had no idea what was going on. So just to explain from my position, I don't really talk to anybody. I have to put that out there. I'm cool with everybody. I'm cordial with everybody. I respect most people that are respectful to me, and I just stay out of the way. I don't get involved with shit. I try to have my own little bubble here. I'm not involved in all of the LA moves and stuff that happened years and years ago. I don't have any interests or goals to turn my current platform, what I do for content creation. I don't plan to use this as a platform to launch myself into something else. I plan.
Jev is so... like, how would I describe this? Well, I said at the very beginning, but he, in my opinion, like, is just the best at, he's never like been in anything, and he just kind of does his own thing. And to talk about what he said about like, oh, there's a bug on my desk. What is that? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. To talk about what he said like earlier, how he said, he doesn't really know. Like, I saw a clip from Nick, and Nick also said he didn't know. And so it's very interesting just to see, like, and just from my perspective, being involved with an org as well, right? Moves that happen, moves that are made, sometimes it may not even fully get communicated to some people that you think would know that certain moves are happening and certain things are going to be made, or decisions are going to be made, man. It's very interesting. So I'm sure Jev, and on top of that, Nick, is both telling the truth. So
plan this entire time is to literally do this shit until I die. So just to give you an idea of what kind of person I am, I stay the fuck out of the way. I don't get involved with shit. I don't learn about shit. I just did my own thing. I still have as much information.
That's basically what I just said. I completely agree.
Years ago. I've been in the team.
I love that about you, Jev.
At this point, I've seen a lot of highs and I've seen a whole lot of lows. I've seen a whole lot of activity and complete inactivity from the overall channel, the brand itself of Faze. But Faze ended up announcing today that a ton of people were kicked from the team, and the only remaining people in terms of content creators and stuff like that, I'm sure that they're keeping the esports.
I'm kind of
teams.
blocking
That's a whole separate thing. Esports side of everything pops off, but the remaining roster, everyone else is out. That is the roster. Now, I talked to Tommy last night and he filled me in on things. Also note that this was like the first time that I talked to Tommy, and straight, no joke, I'm not joking, years. And we were laughing about this shit on the phone. And a lot of people will take that like, oh, well, shouldn't like all of the leaders of your team reach out to you and talk to you, yada, yada. It's a two-way street. I don't reach out or reply or entertain half the shit that is ever sent to me. I try to keep my circle incredibly small. And everybody outside of that point, again, respectful and everything like that, but people don't really know me. I don't really know that. People just don't know a ton about me, and I keep it that way on purpose. So right here, they ended up putting a little video out, Control-Alt-Delete, and they just basically are doing a hard reset. And you can see here, they got a list of the people that they ended up kicking from the team: Agony, Blaze, Booyah, Seabass, Scissors. I mean, names that have been in the team for a very, very long time. Although Replays is in here twice. I think that's a mistake because Replays is still on the roster. I don't know. Sway, Testy. This reset, to my understanding, is to basically just get a clean slate and build back up from that point, because there were so many decisions and people that were in the team and things like that that a lot of people didn't even know who was who, even though I know absolutely everybody that's on this list.
And one thing I'll just say about this kind of move they're making in general, you know, Banks has Faze again, right? So Banks owns Faze. And ultimately, Banks said he was going to make some moves. And obviously, this is what Banks thinks is the best thing for Faze. The reality is, too, and I've just learned this over the years, and this was kind of hard for me. You will never be able to please everybody in your life. And what I mean by that is, like, growing up, I was always class clown. Tried to just make everyone laugh. And even to this day, I do. But there's now, just having the platform I have, there's things that I will do no matter what that upsets people. And that sucks. I hate that. But at the end of the day, it's like, Banks is making this decision for Faze, right? And this is what he thinks is best for Faze. But obviously, there's a ton. I mean, Boo, Jay, you know, there's so many incredible content creators that, unfortunately, through this move, got let go. And if some of you are older, you might be watching this, and you've probably learned that at the end of the day, business is business. It's, you know, someone always, I can't remember who said it to me first. It was one of my buddies growing up. He's always like, you know, business is always business, and it's tough to mix family and business. It's difficult, and it can get kind of muddy. And a situation like this is kind of why, right? It's like you have all these incredible, you know, content creators that unfortunately now got let go from Faze, but that is what Banks thinks is the best for Faze, right? So that's just my little spiel about how, that's kind of what I feel about everything. But I'm really curious what Jev,
I still think that they do represent Faze and
talks
did a really
about
good job representing Faze overall and what they stood for, at least. To be fair, a lot of people will view Faze very differently through different lenses depending on whenever you heard about them. For a lot of people that were around for a really long time, they knew Faze as, you know, trick shotting in particular, right. Call of Duty specifically,
those are OG
New York House,
Faze.
and even well before the New York House with all the montages and other things like that. But that whole ship itself, in terms of like producing montages and episodes and things like that, that whole genre of things has absolutely died out, or at least isn't worth investing into at this point as an entire organization, which I completely understand. Now, obviously that community is still there, it's alive, but it's not like how it was. And even the people that still produce that content know what it is. But people also associate Faze with like crypto and all of this other shit that I don't even have a crypto wallet. Drama and all this other shit. Basically every single thing that I actively avoid. But I've been in this team a really long time, and I've seen how things have changed, even if I don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes because of, you know, how I keep to myself. Still have a lot of love and respect for all of the people that even recruited me in the first place, that even gave me an opportunity to grow to what I am today. The way that I was doing things and the way that things were going, I feel like I would have made it to where I wanted to be regardless, but I can't deny that Faze absolutely helped me and gave me some of the most memorable moments in my life. Literally just going to the New York House was one of the most memorable experiences, and it's just going there with other content creators.
Wait, do you even know off top of your head how long Jev has been a part of Faze? For me, I'm thinking when I first saw Jev, I was streaming Black Ops 2, and Jev was YouTube content creation of Black Ops 2, and I was watching his videos all the time back then. And this, to be clear with y'all, this is about 11, 12 years ago. This was when I first started streaming. I don't think, like, he wasn't Faze Jev back then. That's when I started watching Jev, man, just so y'all understand. And Whip says March 2014. So yeah, I mean, dude, it's been 10 years now. That is I mean, that's a long time.
Cherish and appreciate all of that, because I would not do any of this stuff whatsoever. Again, I was offered to go and live in mansions and shit, move across the country and all this other stuff, and I just want to keep to myself. Now, since I'm really disconnected from this stuff, I wasn't aware of entirely of who everyone was that was getting kicked or who would be left or whatever. But with that said, I'm still happy to see people like Replay specifically and Scope, obviously. I recruited Scope myself. I think these guys still embody exactly what, like, the quote old Faze was, and something that at least a lot of people respect, even if it doesn't garner the most amount of like views and stuff like that, getting involved in drama, all the other ways that people have you know, found their own way to get their attention and all this other shit. These guys also don't get involved with none of that shit. I have to say, no, I don't agree with cutting all of these people, but again, at the same time, I see exactly what they're doing. I understand what they're doing, and I'm just super mixed on this whole thing. I was even contemplating just like completely ignoring this whole thing like I do with virtually everything else, and I just continue to do my own thing without making, you know, too many comments on this thing. But since the roster has been cut down so much, and now my name, I guess, stands out more, I gotta at least, you know, put how I feel out there. I feel sad for every single person that got kicked, but I'm also excited for what Faze is planning. even if that means that I'm not even going to physically even get involved with it. Barely collab. I don't do photo shoots. I don't do shit. And for whatever reason, people really respect that. So
it's
thanks,
true.
I guess.
That's very.
But I want to say to everybody that got kicked, you're all incredibly talented people. I don't really agree with that. You know, completely. Everybody getting kicked like the way that it has gone, at least. But again, I do see what Faze is doing. But having people like Scope and Replay still in the team, I think still serves as a little bit of a hope for people that aren't doing any of these like IRL streams, disturbing the public, gambling, and all this other shit. If you're not into all the flashiness and all that bullshit, I think that there's still hope to be able to join the team as that type of creator. That's my impression looking at this. All the people that are still in though, Adapt, Apex, Banks, I don't know what Rain is doing. I guess he's there by proximity, like here and there, but he's not deep in there. Rain's position is actually super cool to me. He's like there, but he's not. It's fucking awesome. He's even replying to this shit. Like, understand that when I was starting to hear about people getting kicked, first of all, I wasn't even sure if it was true, and then Banks did like this interview or whatever and pretty much like publicly confirmed that that's what's happening. So from that point, I was sitting there thinking like, you know, I might get kicked. Very similar to that sick April Fool's joke that Apex played on me years and years ago, the absolute classic. I was prepared for the worst. When I got kicked back then, when I was in the team for like only a couple weeks or something like that at the time, I took that shit on the chin and I was ready to just continue doing exactly what I was doing. And that's the beauty of it all. Regardless of whatever was gonna happen, regardless of whether or not you're still on this team, you're still someone that has this creative energy in you and you have the means to actually create regardless. So I just want to thank everybody for all the positivity and stuff that they're giving me, all the reinforcement and things like that. I just wanted to clarify that, you know, I do feel bad about this whole thing. I'm not mad at Banks or anybody that's making all of these decisions or anything like that. I'm not mad at them. It's just, you know, speaking about how I feel bad about who got cut, the way that they got cut, things like that. I don't feel some type of way towards Banks and them. They're doing something that is obviously a big deal. Otherwise, people wouldn't have been discussing this as heavily as they have been. The corporate side of everything really fucked a lot of things up with Faze, and understand that this is a lot of business related shit.
That comment is so interesting to me because I feel like you can almost say that about a lot, right? I feel like you could say that about, you know, the direction that Twitch was going, right? A lot of you may remember Twitch pre-Amazon. A lot of you may not. But for me, once Amazon came into that, you know, and bought Twitch, the vibe of everything completely changed, right? And so for Faze, I think you can say basically the same thing, right? When corporate, we'll throw that in air quotes, when corporate or someone comes in and they buy it as a business, right? They're going to look at it as a business, obviously. So like when Amazon came into Twitch, they're looking at Twitch now as a business. But I would argue, some of you, if you remember OG Twitch, I say that. Here's what I'll say. I knew so many Twitch staff pre-Amazon. Current day, and just to be clear, I'm talking easily 100 plus names I would have at least recognized, right? I mean, current day, I think I know one maybe that's still working there. And like with, you know, that kind of mindset and kind of looking at this, what happened with Faze, I guess Banks, in my opinion, the way I'm looking at it is Banks is trying to bring it back to more of its roots in the sense of this isn't strictly all business now. Whiff just said Pluto still at Twitch. Okay, Pluto was, okay, so I might know two. I was thinking, okay. So if Pluto's still there, I know two. Okay, but yeah, man, it's very interesting to see how like, and hit me in the comment section about that. I'm gonna come look. If y'all watch Twitch pre-Amazon, you kind of felt the shift. I mean, now everyone talks about it, right? It's all just ads, just rolling it. But it's a business now, right? I mean, it always was a business, but now the focus is business. Maybe that's the sentence I wanted to say. I kind of like that, but anyway, I'm going to let Jeff finish this out. I want to keep interrupting him.
But I really don't like, just as an individual, not even as a creator, as an individual, I don't like business. I don't like business talks, which is why I barely do any sponsorship type of things, even if it is as simple as just signing some sort of contract and agreeing to it. I don't like doing that. G Fuel is like the literal one thing that I have ever actually done. And it's mostly because I just like the actual product and I actually consume the product. I don't like business. I don't like getting involved with business, and I don't like the bright lights. I don't like it at all. And this is part of the reason why. I think
it's so interesting because Jeff is so
and they don't
famous in his own right.
Well,
you know what I mean?
For the future of Faze, I'm excited to also, you know, try to converse with people a little bit more closely. I'm looking forward to, you know, just seeing what everybody does, and with it being a little bit of a more exclusive roster, people will naturally gravitate towards each other a little bit more. And you know, who knows? Maybe I'll open up a bit more to other people and shit. But thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Thank you guys so much for, you know, defending me, I guess, in a weird way. Please try not to put other people down that got kicked, though. I'm seeing jokes and shit being thrown around about certain people getting kicked from the team. It fucked up to me. Shout out to all those guys that, you know, we made montages with over all the years, like Dirty, Agony, Blaze, Testy, Kitty. These are videos that I'll look back on years and years later, even if the montage scene is, you know, however it is. See where Faze goes. Tomorrow I'll have another.
Someone should drop a montage right now. Now would be the time.
About this shit, because again, I don't know enough to speak on a lot of this stuff. I just want to sit there and explain how I feel about it, not get involved with too many decisions. I don't have the heart to do any of this business related shit. I just don't. I started doing all of this shit because I didn't want to feel like I was actually working a job. Why the fuck would I get involved with stuff that makes it feel like a job? I said it from the start before I was even able to quit my job. When I was initially creating videos, I said repeatedly that I just wanted to be able to play video games for a living, and this is the best way that I found that I can do it, and I don't want anything else fucking with it, period. I don't want distractions. I don't want anything else. Stay tuned to what Faze has in store. Also go and support all the people that also got kicked from the team. People's spirits are down and stuff, and I hate looking at shit like this. So again, excited for the future. So it's been Jev, guys. Later.
I love Jev, dude. Jev is like such a, you can tell he's such a good soul. I sound like my grandma saying that, but yeah, I mean, I kind of like said my little piece throughout it, but I figured that's kind of what Jev was going to say, right? Because just watching him for so long and watching his videos, dude, there's a video I feel like I remember watching of Jev where he was standing up and he was talking about, was it C4 whips? Do you have any idea what I'm talking? There's this video of him, but it was like, there was no gameplay. It was just Jev. I don't know, man. I've been watching Jev for probably as long as a lot of you guys have, to be honest with you. And I think it was C4, bro. But Jev, in my opinion, is like one of the like goated content creators on, one of the goated YouTubers out there still just doing all this gaming stuff. Obviously, over the years, man, I mean, the landscape has changed a lot, right? You know, streaming in general, I feel like there's been a lot of change of, you know, a lot of views you see now. It's a lot more IRL stuff, you know, podcasts popping up everywhere. And it's very interesting, man, that core, it's still there, but it's definitely not just that anymore, you know, as far as streaming and content creation goes. So I love Jev, man. Once again, everyone that, you know, got cut from Faze, I had a lot of friends there that I play with. And I hope the best for y'all, man. And I'll be curious to kind of see what Banks does and the direction that Faze goes, man. We'll see what happens.